Guys, Larissa with BeCozi.com is here. BeCozi.com and BeCozi.net is an American website with the biggest collections of chunky yarns for hand knitting and arm knitting. Our office located in Holland, Michigan. If you're local or if you're visiting, please stop in our office. We will be happy to see you here. We're selling yarn here. We're selling blankets, DIY kits, everything you can imagine. And today I will be making this gorgeous blanket. It's a new pattern, guys. It's called Twisted Double Ribbon Stitch. It's pretty simple if you knit it before. If you're a newbie, just watch the video a few times and then try to make it. I will be using this beautiful olive, desert camo tie-dye chenille yarn, and oatmeal. So our olive color is very popular. It's a simple, straight color, also oatmeal. And a third color is one of our tie-dye chenille yarn that we just received. It was custom made for BeCozi company. It's not available anywhere else, only at BeCozi.com or BeCozi.net. And this beautiful desert camo is what I'm using today to make this beautiful blanket with twisted double ribbon stitch. So if you got our yarn and you're ready, let's get started. Okay, guys, let's get started. So, as I said, we will be using olive, desert camo, and oatmeal. And we will be starting with olive color. So, let's find the beginning of the yarn. And then place the yarn in front of you, like that. And now we will make a knot on the end. That will prevent yarn from unraveling when the blanket is used, and especially when it's washed, because these blankets can be washed. So place the yarn like that. This is working yarn. This is this is working yarn. This is tail. Working yarn goes on the top like that. You're making a loop. Then you're inserting your left hand inside the loop. Then you grab working yarn and pull it out. So you're pulling these two strings down and the loop up. So this is your first stitch. What are we doing now? We're pulling working yarn down to make the stitch a little bit smaller. So it's about an inch, maybe an inch and a half, something like that. So what are we doing now? Now we are casting on 26 stitches, guys, okay? And for casting on, insert your hand inside the stitch, grab working yarn and pull it out. So we have 2 stitches now. As you can see, they're about the same size, and that's our goal, to make them all about the same size. And the cast-on chain stitches should be a little bit bigger than the stitches that you will be making when you're making a blanket. So press the yarn on the bottom, the stitch, and insert your hand, grab working yarn and pull it out. Why we're pressing the yarn? Because that will keep the stitch from unraveling when you're pulling the next stitch out. And that will help to make all stitches of the same size. So as I said, we're making 26 stitches. Blanket will be 40 by 60, actually about a little bit less, because 40 by 60 requires 25 stitches. I will be making 26 to make beautiful chains on both sides of the blanket. And because of this extra stitch, it will be a little bit over 40, but it will not be 60, it will be about 58 inches long. Okay, so let's count if we have enough stitches. Place the yarn in front of you. The chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, and we are making 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So we have 26 stitches chain, guys. So what are we doing now? We are flipping this chain on another side, And now we will start knitting. And to start knitting, we are placing our working yarn on the back of the chain, and it facing the direction where are we knitting. We're now knitting from the right to the left. And so how we are doing the first stitch? The first stitch, we are using this stitch. We are going from underneath, insert your hand, grab working yarn, and pull it out. So we just made first stitch, guys, okay? So now starting from second stitch, we will be pulling out the stitches using the middle part of the stitch, not the top, not the bottom, the middle part. So we made the first one, so now we're using this middle part. We are inserting our finger, we're lifting it, then we're inserting our fingers from the right hand, grabbing working yarn and pulling it out. Then the same here, we are finding the middle part of the stitch, we're going underneath, grabbing working yarn and pulling it out. And that's what we will be doing for the whole row for 26 stitches. Okay, guys, so we are almost back to the end of the row. Here we are. We just made our last stitch. So we just pull out a first row, and now we will start our pattern. And as I mentioned, I made 26 stitches, and the reason I made it because first stitch will always be knitted, and we actually will be skipping it starting from next row. I will show you. So this will be the first stitch, we knitted it, then two next stitches we will purl. So the working yarn goes up front, not on the back, up front. Then you're taking a stitch and you're pushing yarn through. This is the purl stitch. So second one we're purling 2. And now we have 2 purl stitches. Next two will be twisted stitch. So because yarn goes on the back, now for the knitted stitch, because we're knitting from the left to the right, the yarn is going the same direction. And the same direction we will be twisting a stitch. So you're taking a stitch and you're twisting it in the same direction we are knitting. So this, in this case, to the right. So 1, and next one the same, twisted to the right, 2. I have 2 stitches that we just twisted. Next 2 we are purling. Next 2 twisting again, the same way, twist to the right, twist to the right, 2 purl. And that's pretty much all pattern. We will be purling 2 and twisted knitted stitch 2 for the whole 25, because our last stitch we will be always knitting and it as the last one, and it will be a very simple knitted stitch, no twisting. So remember, it will be the last stitch in every row that we will be simply knitting. Here we are. So the last stitch, we're simply inserting our hand, grabbing working yarn and pulling it out. And we're doing it because we want this beautiful chain on the on both sides of the blanket. So now when we are going from the right to the left, we are making the same twisted stitch here. See this two twisted stitches in previous row. The only difference that we will be twisting them in direction where we're going. So here they were to the right. In this case, this row we're going to the left, so the stitch will be twisted to the left. 1 twisted and 2 twisted. Here we are. Next 2 we are purling. The same way you're taking the stitch and pushing yarn through, and next two we're twisting, and again we're twisting in the direction we are knitting. So 1 and 2, twisted to the left. So here we are. So this is, guys, all we will be doing. This is a pattern: 2 knitted, 2 twisted, 2 purled and 2 twisted knitted stitches. And then when we are done with 2 olive skeins, we will be using 2 olive skeins, then 1 skein desert camo, then 1 skein of oatmeal, 1 desert camo, and then 2 olive again. This way it will be looking very beautiful, how I showed you at the beginning. So now that's what I said I will be doing for 2 skeins. Okay, so this is just the beginning of the skein, and I will show you how I connect the next color. So what we will do, we will cut the yarn, and for you it will be the end of 2 skeins, remember. And if you have more yarn left or less yarn left, if less, you will need to add some from another skein. If more, you will need to cut if you don't have it for the whole row. But the new color always starts from the new row, like that, and you're keeping a small piece on the side when you introduce a new yarn. It should be just about 1.5, maybe 2 inches, and then you're making a simple knot and you're attaching a new yarn like that. Then you're pulling this knot in both directions until you can feel that there is no way to pull, and then you're cutting this tails close to the knot, and that's how you connect the 2 different colors. So here we are. I'm showing you how to connect the yarn, and now when we attach a new yarn, we will knit this first stitch. We're skipping it when we're knitting one color. When we're introducing new color, we need to knit it, because the first stitch will look different if we don't. So we just knitted it. Now you have 2 purl stitches. In order to introduce this yarn nicely and beautifully, like on the blanket, see, like here, you don't have any yarn coming out, different yarn. We will be knitting these 2 stitches. They were purled, but first row of a new color, you are knitting purl stitches. Then you are doing the same pattern for twisted stitch, twisted to the right, because we are knitting in to the right direction. Okay, now 2 purled, first row of new yarn we are knitting. In the next row we will keep our pattern and we will start purling the purl stitches. So it's the only kind of difference. Otherwise we're simply making this double rib twisted stitch. See what I did? I just by mistake purled these 2 stitches that were purled, and that is actually the reason why we are not doing it this way. See the difference when we knitted 2 purl stitches and when we purled them? The new yarn is coming out here and the old one is seen here, and in order to avoid it, we are knitting purl stitches like that. And then in the next row, as I mentioned, we will be purling them. So here we are. Don't forget to twist the knitting stitches, because then the whole pattern will be looking run. So here we are done with our row. Don't forget to knit the last stitch. And now we can skip it because the stitch is a new color already. So this is 2 twisted stitches. We're now twisting them, and we're twisting them to the left, the same way as we're going. So here 2 purl stitches that we knitted, we are now purling them, 1 and 2, and twist, twist, and this one purling, and that's what we will be doing for the whole skein of this beautiful, our new tie-dye chenille that we called Desert Camo. It's amazingly beautiful color, guys. You really need to try that, and especially in this pattern. So that's what we will do with our oatmeal color when we use pink camo. So I will show you in a minute. We will do the same. We will connect it with the simple knot. We will, the same way, guys, cut the yarn, make a simple knot with the oatmeal color, and then because you introduce a new color, first row will be knitted where you purled, and then the next row, like we just did, it will be purled. And this is all pattern. So I will keep knitting, and then I will come back and I will show you how to finish the blanket. Okay, guys, so look at this beautiful blanket. So as I said, we use 2 skeins of olive color, and by making the first stitch knitted, we have a beautiful chain on the side, on this side and on this side, and we have beautiful chain on the bottom. So we introduced our yarn here by knitting the purl stitch first, so we don't see any imperfections. All imperfections stayed on the back. See the difference? We avoid having this line on the front of the blanket. The same with the beautiful oatmeal color. We don't have any line here. The line stayed on the back. It's over here. So, and then after 1 skein of Desert Camo, we had 1 skein of oatmeal, and then another Desert Camo, and 2 olives, 1, 2. So what we are doing now, we are casting off. And to cast off, we are taking 2 stitches together on your left hand if you're going from the left to the right. And then the working yarn goes through these 2 stitches. And you are making 1 stitch from 2. Then it goes back on your hand. You are adding another stitch. You have 2 stitches again, and working yarn goes through 2. This way you are making a beautiful chain. You're knitting 2 stitches at a time, and you're casting off or finishing the blanket, and a beautiful chain is forming. See this chain over here? And I will keep casting off, and then I will show you what to do with the last stitch. Okay, guys, so we cast off all the stitches. See, our blanket, the top of the blanket is finished. So we have 1 stitch left. The working yarn goes inside this last stitch, and then you pull it, and that's how the blanket is finished. So what we're doing now, we can simply go underneath with this yarn. I usually go underneath the chain like that, and you can actually cut the yarn. So I will cut the yarn to remove this long tail. Then I will make a knot to prevent yarn from unraveling the same way we did on the bottom. Cut the yarn close to the knot and then go back underneath the chain and then hide this end anywhere between stitches. You can sew it, guys, but I just tuck it in and you cannot really see it, and it will hold there pretty well too. So here we are. We have this gorgeous blanket, and we have this here. We have also the tail. It also goes underneath, and then you can just hide it on the back between any stitches like that. So these beautiful colors are available at BeCozi.com. This one, new color of tie-dye chenille that we just received. It's custom made. It's not available anywhere in any store, online or craft store in US, only at BeCozi.com. So go to BeCozi.com, get this yarn, and stay warm and be cozy. Hey guys, my hand knitting book is ready for you to purchase. It can be purchased at BeCozi.com and on Amazon, and also available as a Kindle. It's a perfect gift for yourself or your loved one. It's the most unique gift and book on the knitting market.